Are you the kind of person who really, truly comes alive at, say, 2 in the morning while the rest of the world is completely out? Then yeah, this is for you. You've probably been told your whole life that you're undisciplined, maybe a little lazy. But what if that's not the whole story? Not even close. Okay, let's get into this.
So, here's what we're going to do. First, we're going to tear down that whole early bird myth. Then, we'll dive into 4 specific traits that explain why your love of the night might actually be a sign of some seriously powerful cognitive wiring. And we'll wrap it all up by talking about what this means for you and your nocturnal genius.
You know, our society is absolutely obsessed with the early bird. You hear it all the time, right? Success belongs to the people who are up at 5 a.m. chugging a green smoothie. And that narrative, it creates a very clear and honestly a very unfair story about anyone who just doesn't fit that mold.
And when you lay it out like this, the contrast is, well, it's pretty stark. Early birds get praised. They're disciplined, successful. Meanwhile, night owls get slapped with labels like lazy and unfocused. I'm willing to bet a lot of you have been feeling that judgment your entire lives.
That here's where we pivot. Because what if struggling to fall asleep before midnight isn't a bad habit? What if it's not a flaw? Psychology actually suggests it might be a sign of a very specific kind of brain, one that's often linked to higher intelligence.
So the first trait, the first big reason for this is a deep, deep need for what you could call cognitive silence. The reason you come alive at night is simple. The daytime is just too loud for your brain. And I'm not just talking about actual noise.
See, this is all rooted in a trait called high sensory processing sensitivity. The easiest way to think about it is like this. Your brain's volume knob for the entire world is just turned way, way up. It processes everything, every email, every bit of small talk, every car horn, so much more deeply. And that constant barrage just drains your mental battery.
And that's the difference right there. The daytime is pure sensory overload. But the night offers cognitive silence. So you're not hiding from the world, you're just waiting for all the static to clear so your brain can finally run at full speed.
Okay, so trait number 2 builds right on top of that. Staying up late isn't just something that happens to you. It's an active process. You're building your own perfect environment, a kind of laboratory just for yourself.
Now, there's a fancy psychological term for this, restorative niche construction. It's a big phrase for a simple, powerful idea. You are intentionally creating the exact space where your unique nervous system can finally hit its peak. And for so many deep thinkers, the night is that perfect niche.
And think about how this happens, step by step. At night, you get to shed all those social roles. You're not an employee or a parent or a friend for a few hours. You completely eliminate interruptions. And that freedom, that's what allows for the kind of unconventional, out-of-the-box thinking that's just impossible when your phone is buzzing every 15 minutes.
Which leads us directly to trait number 3, an incredibly active mind. When the outside world finally goes quiet, your brain doesn't shut off. Oh no, it's just getting started. It's like it finally gets the high-speed connection it's been craving all day.
I'm sure this sounds familiar. You're lying there, trying to sleep, and all of a sudden your brain is connecting the dots on a project, or replaying a conversation from last week, or just, pondering the very nature of the universe. This isn't just random anxiety. It's high-level processing in action.
Neurologically, what's happening is your brain's default mode network is kicking into high gear. Think of it as your mind's creative engine or its internal brainstormer. For most people, it powers down at night. But for deep thinkers, the external silence actually flips the switch on. It lets you connect abstract ideas and spot patterns in a way the busy day just won't allow.
And that brings us to our final trait, number 4. You stay up late because you're chasing something incredibly powerful and productive. You're chasing the flow state. You are, in a way, addicted to deep work.
Because what's the one single ingredient you absolutely need for flow? It's the total absence of distraction. During the day, part of your brain is always on standby, anticipating the next email, the next call. That anticipation kills creativity. But at night, nobody's coming. You're free. And this, right here, is such a crucial shift in perspective. If you sleep in, you are not lazy. You are exhausted. Why? Because you've just spent hours in deep, focused concentration, solving complex problems or creating something new. You've just run a mental marathon while everyone else was dreaming.
So what's the takeaway from all of this? It means it is time to stop apologizing for your schedule. You are not bad at sleeping.
You're actively and intelligently protecting the time and the mental space your brain needs to do its absolute best work. It's a strength, not a weakness.
Just let that one sink in for a second. The world needs both kinds of people. You need the early birds to get things moving, but you absolutely need the night owls to think through the really complex, thorny problems that the noise and the rush of the daytime just couldn't solve. So, the next time you see the clock strike 2 a.m., instead of feeling that little pang of guilt, I want you to see it as an opportunity. Your lab is open, the world is quiet, and your mind is ready to go. The only real question left is, what will your nocturnal genius solve tonight?